You got drafted in the second round by Cleveland.
Yep.
And you kind of jumped around a little bit to the G League here and there, and you landed with the Spurs. And then you kind of blew up. You kind of became a starter, and you became a consistent contributor. What was the impetus to that, to come from the G League to become, with a big-time team, a big-time coach?
A lot of luck, man. A lot of luck, and, just me staying on top of trying to be ready for the opportunity and be prepared for it. But so I've been lucky and I'm blessed to be on winning teams. Even when I got drafted, Cleveland, they won, and then when Braun left, I got cut, which I think was a gift and a curse. But it gave me the opportunity to get called up or played or try out with the Spurs, and they were still good. They were winning games, and then I had to make the team. But for me to get in the rotation, it took a lot of luck too. I was ready, prepared, but it took for a couple guys to be injured. Manu got hurt, and then it was not many guys on roster. They're looking for somebody to scramble and see who can fill those shoes. Manu was going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks, and lucky enough for me, Pop, he throws guys in. He gives them a chance, throws them in the fire, see what they can do. I went in, and I played pretty good defense. We were playing against Golden State. They had Monte Ellis and Steph at that time. Steph wasn't Steph yet. He still had weak ankles. He had a couple injuries. I think he got hurt at halftime. He probably had 20 at half, but hurt his ankle, wasn't going to play in the second half. Monte had 25 and was going 35, so they need somebody to stop him. I went in to guard Monte. I liked the way I guarded him, and next I started playing more minutes because of the defense. I started hitting some shots, and they're like, what? Halfway through the season, they started starting me, which was kind of crazy for me too. I remember my first couple games of starting. I think I went 0 for 8. Like the first game, the second game probably 0 for 6, and he's like, keep shooting. The numbers are in your favor. You're gonna make some. So obviously I was nervous, but he still had my back and still encouraged me. And then from there, started playing better and became a starter for a top team in the league for the next couple of years to come.
Was there something that clicked in terms of hard work or what you had to focus on, or becoming really good at one or two things? Or anything that Roy and then Pop kind of talked to you about that made that happen?
I have to give a lot of that to my developmental coach. I came there, I was a pretty good player, and I was a pretty good shooter. Obviously, I could play defense. I was good at that. And learning the system, Pop helped me with learning that and learning the plays. But shooting-wise, my developmental coach, he was with me hours in the gym, perfecting my shot and making it more consistent. And because I shot it differently every time, he knew I was going to get different results every time or not shoot a better percentage. So he really worked on me on repetition and lock, leaving, stick, and having, shooting it the same way every time. And I think that raised my percentage a ton and made me a really good threat in this league. So that right there, put me above, a lot, because they knew I was good at everything, but they didn't see anything I was great at, and that was kind of the knock on me. It was like, he's good at everything, but he's not great at anything. We don't know what his, niche is. We don't know what we can, specify him to be a specialist at. And when he worked on me with my shooting, and I became, a better shooter, more consistent shooter, that helped me a lot. But obviously, Coach Williams, of course, instilled so many, great things in me. I'm doing my work early and working hard, and Coach Pop with the defensive emphasis in the system and learning that. But a lot of me being a specialist at shooting, I recognize that by most people, 3 and D. Mm-hmm. A lot of that came from my developmental coach and keeping me locked in and doing hours over the summer and hours during the year, even coming back late doing 2 a day. So they helped me a ton.
How are Roy and Pop different? Obviously, they're very different personalities, but they're both Hall of Fame coaches, both have success at both their levels. How would you kind of compare them as coaches?
Very similar, but very different at the same time. They're both passionate on the floor, off the floor, laid back. But Coach Williams is still, pretty intense in practice. But Pop, very laid back in practice off the floor. Just the big difference is probably Pop uses different language than Coach Williams does. A lot more often than Coach Williams does, but they're very similar in the same way. So
there you go. And then 09-14 championship. Which one was more special?
Oh man, they both are special, but I think we ran through the tournament pretty easily in 09. Like you said, we had one game that was tough, and a lot of times teams in the tournament get lucky. You don't have to be the best team to go far. I think winning an NBA championship after losing that one was the toughest one, so it was special. Beating Miami after losing to them the year before in 2014. But they're both very special. But I think it was a little harder to do, and it made it more special because we just lost to that team previously. And be able to get a second shot at it and play them again in the finals the year after, couldn't set it up any better.
Gotcha. And then where are you in the offseason? Where do you live?
I'm everywhere, man. Okay. Doing a lot of traveling with camps and stuff, but most times I'm in San Antonio and New York. My family's still back in New York. Work out a lot there and in Texas. I'm doing camps and stuff all over the place, and then I work out in Santa Barbara a little bit too for a couple weeks in, but mostly New York and San Antonio.
Do you get a chance to come back in June here for?
I try to.
Okay.
I usually try to come to coaches camp. This past year I was out of the country, and that's usually our time to get some relax and rest. So I was on vacation. I had to plan the vacation way before I knew about the camp, but I try to come back as often as I can. But for camp here, or for I guess a tailgate in September. We have the reunion this summer in August, so I try to come back as much as I can.
How close? I mean, how important is that kind of family? What does that kind of mean to you? Because it's something really
Very
special
important,
that we see, but we
yeah.
don't really know how it feels.
It's hard. It's hard to put it, and words are hard to describe it or let you see it or show it. But it's very important. All throughout the league, we get a chance to see each other, chop it up, hang out, and show each other love before games, after games, maybe catch dinner, and it just gives you another brotherhood or another fraternity to be involved in or to feel comfortable with when you're on a team or another team or when you're speaking on the court if you're by yourself. When I first got into the league, those were the guys that I really knew. My teammates I knew kind of sort of, but throughout the league I didn't know anybody else. And my Carolina guys are the ones that kind of took care of me and took me under their wing and made me feel at home in the league.
Who are you closest with from UNC that you still kind of keep in touch with on a regular basis?
Dion,
yeah.
Mark Campbell, the guys that I grew up, Marcus, Bob, those guys. Seen Tyler the other day, but the guys that are in my class, and then the guys that are in the league, Vince, he's the ultimate Carolina guy, man. We have a chat where we talk to everybody, but it was a couple of guys. I talked to Ty recently, but Wayne, he's one of my guys too. But every time I see those guys, it's always a lot of love. John Henson, Harrison Barnes, we see each other, we show a lot of love.
Who's in the group chat?
Everybody, actually. There's quite a bit of guys in the WhatsApp chat. It's good.
Oh, it's a WhatsApp thing?
Yeah, so it's a big WhatsApp. It's even guys overseas, guys here.
Just a big Carolina family.
Yeah, it's pretty much. From Shaman to Vince to everybody. Voss, Mac, and we got to get to the game, right?
Yeah.
Brendan Haywood, everybody's in there.
All right, cool, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.